Hey, what's going on guys? Butterbar here, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we are going to be talking about Ground War and one expansion I would love to see added to this game mode, and that actually has the expansion of AI opponents or AI controlled players in this game mode. Now I'm going to compare two games that I see it doing a lot when it comes to AI controlled players, and my two comparisons are going to be the Call of Duty mobile game as well as the Titanfall 2 franchise and how it does PvE, PvP type of content in that, or type of multiplayer that it does for that game. Now real quick before I get into this topic, I'm going to show you guys just some Ground War gameplay. I go freaking ham on this thing, and just kind of like my previous video where I said I get mad in the beginning and then all of a sudden as soon as I get mad I switch classes and I eventually am able to do well. It's exactly what happens in this game mode. I am trying to capture C. Teammates are not helping me out too well. I eventually just keep getting killed. I switch to classes, trying to find something I like, and eventually I think I picked the M13 again and able to just carry my team to victory, and was doing amazingly well to just push the enemy team back and to carry my team forward. And man, oh man, it's games like this, man. It's games like this where I'm like, I just want to just try to win, and my teammates are not helping me, so I got to kind of help myself. So I just at least want to show you guys this gameplay because it was amazing, and I know I posted it on Twitter just to show you guys the scoreboard, but at least wanted to show you guys the gameplay as well. Anyway, let's talk about this concept about Ground War being increased not only from just 32v32, but I mean even higher to maybe 50v50. I know this has been one thing that's been tried in the Battle Royale genre, but I would love to see even increase more than that, maybe even like 100v100. I don't know if that's just a crazy concept about it, but I do have to say I give Infinity Ward credit right now because Modern Warfare was able to change what Ground War was to a lot of people. Ground War, at least for me, back in the day, was 9v9. That was the most amount of players you were going to get. 9v9 was the most you were going to get on console when it came to Ground War. Now, with Modern Warfare increasing that game mode to 32v32, to me, it's increased the amount of fun that I have in this game mode. The amount of kills I can rack up, the amazing score streaks I can get, kill streaks I can get from this game of just trying my best, trying to, try to find the best avenue or approach in this game. And having so many enemies to go after definitely gives me a high that the 6v6 or even the 10v10 game mode doesn't give me. And it honestly just reminds me of other games out there like Battlefield or even Titanfall 2. Now I will say this, I know Infinity Ward was kind of going towards that route when it made Ground War, when everyone was kind of seeing the 32v32 with Ground War. A lot of people, including myself, were trying to draw comparisons to Battlefield because Battlefield 5 wasn't really doing that great during the time and when Modern Warfare was getting released. Modern Warfare was trying to get into that kind of bracket. They were trying to get into that genre of, tank combat. A lot of people, a lot of, large maps, a lot of people on here, a lot of players kind of going after each other and trying to get in that genre where Battlefield's kind of not really doing great so far right now. One thing, again, I would like to add into this thing is AI opponents, man. I really do think that Ground War can be expanded upon even more than it is right now. I think the 32v32 is great. I would love to see even larger maps and larger populations of players in this. I mean, hell, and we could actually even go all the way to maybe even using the Battle Royale maps. Now, I will say this, 50v50 has been trying. I don't think a lot of people liked 50v50, but maybe not using the Battle Royale maps, but maybe even just using larger maps, considering, maps like the Battlefield franchise and how they were able to do their large-scale maps with vehicle combat, with helicopters and tanks and stuff like that. But one thing that I really, just to this day, I find a lot of pride in, a lot of happiness that Respawn was able to do a PvE, PvP content for their multiplayer. If you guys have ever played Titanfall 1 or Titanfall 2, you know that PvE and PvP is pretty much just hardwired into that game when it comes to playing attrition or bounty hunt or any of these other game modes that Titanfall and Titanfall 2 were able to capture for their multiplayer, and able to actually capture, at least in my opinion, a really great immersive game mode that just made me really feel like I'm on this large-scale battlefield. There's a lot of things going on. There's a lot of not only players out there, but AI opponents to go after and shoot. And whether you're shooting a player or you're shooting an AI opponent, you felt like you were getting rewarded. And to me, really, I would love to see something like that getting added to this game, to where not only like in Call of Duty mobile, where mobile does have AI players, that's kind of how they're able to fill up some of the lobbies as fast as they do. And you can definitely tell when you're fighting bots. When you're fighting bots and you're shooting bots, you're like, what is this person doing? No, that is a bot. So definitely, Call of Duty games have done this in the past, where it has filled up lobbies with AI opponents or bots. But I would love to see this added to the large scale and also added into consoles, man. Be able to do it on consoles, not only being able to fill these large-scale battles and in a quick fashion, because you're able to not only include players in this mixture of matchmaking, but also able to add in AI or bots into this game mode to where you're actually creating these large-scale battles, but it also doesn't take a whole lot of time to actually find a match. Now, I know the way that Ground War does it right now, or at least Modern Warfare does it currently, is you have to have crossplay, which I'm not a huge fan of crossplay. I think I've done this in a previous video if you guys have not watched it. I'm not a huge fan of crossplay just because of the cheating that's going to be going on right now on the PC side. I've got no issue with it on, console v console, but when you are including PC into it, I have a huge problem when it comes to matchmaking against those types of players and having crossplay. But what if there is a way to actually kind of go against crossplay and not have to have crossplay because you're actually adding bots in here to fill the lobby? Now, I will say this. I'm not wanting bots that are just pushovers. I think the one thing that I've done in the past was actually play some, I think it was like veteran mode bots or whatever in a multiplayer and just a custom game. And veteran bots are not any pushovers whatsoever. I mean, they have freaking just split-second aiming, just the most accurate aiming possible. But I feel like there could be a balance. There could be a balance when it comes to the bot level and difficulty and whatnot compared to teammates and whatnot. I do think there's a lot of possibility. I really do think there's a big possibility of being able to add this and being able to balance it in a way to where it feels like, players are not getting short-sighted because the freaking AI is just over-dominant and, maybe a team only has like 2, active players or something like that, or 2 real-life players, and that's rest bots or something like that, and the bots are not too crazy. And that's not exactly my intent of this. My intent really is just to add more stuff, more things to do. And if you're not able to find players, you're able to find AI. And that's kind of the one thing that Titanfall 2 is able to do, is that if you're traversing the map and you're running around and you're trying to look for players in these large maps on Titanfall 2, if you don't find any players, you can go after the AI and these grunts or specters or stalkers, whatever there might be. There are AI opponents you can go after that, after you kill so many, you collect them out at so many points, and you're able to you're able to unlock your Titan. And there's ways to progress through the game if you're not actually fighting actual real-life players. And I do like that. I do love that Titanfall 2 rewards you not only for going after real-life players, but also going after AI players. Now, they don't reward you as much when it comes to, going after real-life players, but it still rewards you nonetheless when you're going after the AI opponents. I do think that this could be a big possibility and a good change for Ground War, or even just trying to test it out. Look, when it comes to Call of Duty games, I love that some Call of Duty games are able to kind of push the limit, or just push something to where, it's something that we've never seen before. Now, it does seem like for these Call of Duty games, we do seem to be going back, I know we seem to be going backwards sometimes for certain things. I know skill-based matchmaking is another thing that kind of bothers people, at least in my opinion, when it comes to going backwards and kind of not really changing the gameplay on its head or adding something to it. I feel like you need to add something to it. When it comes to Modern Warfare adding Ground War in the way that it did Ground War, I feel like it does add something to this game. It adds something to the franchise that I really hope it doesn't go away from, even though Black Ops Cold War is kind of doing that. It's actually going away from the formula that Modern Warfare was able to set up. However, what if Black Ops Cold War was able to add in AI opponents? What if it was 12v12, but also you had AI in there to where you were able to fight off AI, to where it actually did feel like the battlefields were a lot bigger. There was a lot more combatants. There were a lot more things to do. When there was a lull, you could kill some AI, or you could do this and that. I don't know. To me, I would love to see something like that, because at least when it comes to compared to Black Ops Cold War in the 12v12 and how large scale the maps are, it does feel like there are lulls at times. It does feel like there's not a whole lot going on, especially with the amount of people that are camping or hiding out. It does feel like there's not a whole lot going on at certain times, and I do feel like AI opponents can actually help that out. And Titanfall 2, as well as Call of Duty Mobile, has showed me that it's a possible thing to do, and also a way to actually increase the amount of fun that people have. Now, I will say this, when it comes to kill streaks, this is actually one thing that's actually worried me quite a bit, because how do you do kill streaks? I don't know. To me personally, the way that I would see doing kill streaks is maybe, killing an AI, maybe that counts as an assist, or maybe a quarter of a kill or something like that. The way that you can actually equal out to how many, kills you get per game when it comes to killing players, but also going after AI opponents. I don't know exactly how it could possibly go down that route to where it's a balanced thing, because I know people play, including myself, play Ground War, play, Call of Duty games out there to get these kill streaks. This is one thing that I really get a high on when it comes to being able to dominate the enemy team, getting these kill streaks and having a good time. So how do you do that? How do you balance that? I don't know. I would love to see, maybe, killing a player that adds, that adds a tick or whatever, or adds, 1 kill to your kill streak, but maybe killing AI, maybe you have to kill 4 or 5 AI to equal up to 1, player kill. I don't know. I don't know if that would be a way to do it, but again, I would love to see something like this experimented on in another Call of Duty game out there, or even in Modern Warfare if it's even a possible thing, or even Black Ops Cold War, since that game is about to get released and it has 12v12 and it's not as big as Modern Warfare. I don't know, guys. I just at least wanted to pitch the idea out to you. I think it sounds like a really fun idea, but I would love to know from you guys, what do you guys think about adding AI to this game to increase the amount of things to shoot at or things to combat in this game? To me, I really do think they would add a fun factor to it. When it comes to matchmaking, Call of Duty Mobile has showed that you can do matchmaking and you can match up, very quickly when it comes to having bots in the lobby. And Titanfall 2 has showed me the fun factor of having something immersive and always having something fun to do in it. So let me know in the comments below, guys, if you would see this as a possibility of something that Call of Duty or Ground War could do in the future. So let me know in the comments below, guys. Have a great rest of the day, and I'll see you guys all next time.